Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about sanding, either wet sanding or dry sanding. It doesn't matter to me, you can do both. I like wet sanding in my environment because it keeps the dust contained and it just runs down the side of the car. If you don't mind dust particles getting airborne, then you can dry sand. It really doesn't matter. But eventually I believe you should add sanding to your detailing arsenal. It is a little aggressive, can be aggressive at times, so I do understand why it can be intimidating for some to learn. I understand that. I have two items here today that may help with that, so let's get started with this video. So these are the Rupes Xcut 2000 grit sand discs, and they are precision engineered micro abrasive sand discs designed specifically for refining clear coat or single stage, and that can knock down orange peel, removing deeper scratches, defects, prepping surfaces for high-level polishing. They're designed to be used on clear coat, single stage, gel coat, plastics, when you remove PPF, painted panels, fresh paint. These discs are part of the Rupes surface refinement system, and that bridges the gap between heavy cut compound and full sanding level control. The discs are aluminum oxide abrasives, uniformly sized, evenly distributed, and also designed to cut predictably. So it gives you a consistent cut instead of the edges digging or plowing into your surface. They have an anti-clog stearate coating that prevents loading and clogging. It extends the disc life and keeps your discs effective over a longer period of time. You still need to clean them out and rinse them out periodically, or have a machine that is moisture fed, but it provides a smoother finish. This is the interface, so this goes in between the pad itself and the backing plate and gives even more conformity to the shapes and the peaks and the valleys and all the different designs on these vehicles, and gives you, again, the common word of describing these will be consistent cut. These discs will give the user precision and speed for correction. There are many different forms of sand media that you could use to wet or dry sand. And here's a sheet. The only problem with sheets is with the paper being so thin, when you're sanding, pressure points can appear on the surface. Pressure points from your fingers and your hands. If you don't know what you're doing, you can wrap this around a block to avoid that. Paper will also crinkle, and when these crinkles form, that can also give you some uneven sanding on the surface. And they also come in discs and many other shapes and forms. As you can see, this one also crinkles as well. So even if you slap this to the bottom of a polisher, those creases stay in the sandpaper and will give you uneven sanding. And creases happen just from shipping or handling or storing. So just some things to keep in mind, where these, they won't crinkle. You can bend them. You know, they will sort of go back into shape, and especially when attached to the bottom of a polisher using the interface pad or not. You could use it with the pad, interface pad, or just with the disc itself. And I'll explain why you would want to maybe add the interface a little bit later in the video. So if you have a dedicated sander, that's perfectly fine. These were made to attach to dual action polishers as well. And you can grab the disc and just attach it to the hook and loop backing plate on the polisher, and you can do some wet sanding. If you are working on some areas that have really aggressive shapes and contours and body lines, you may want to add the interface and put that in between, and that will add a little bit of conformity to your sanding media, if that makes sense. I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration on this hood to show you when and where you might want the interface or just the disc by itself. Okay, so let's say you're going after this larger flat area, whether you want to level down orange peel effect, or you're going after some defects, dust nibs, or scratches, or even some oxidation. I would just attach the disc itself to the backing plate. Now, these here you can have soaking in water. You can also have these already soaking in water, and that way, if you need just a little bit moisture, you could push down on it, and a little bit of moisture and water will squeeze out of the foam backing here. You can also just spray the area to do your wet sanding, or you can keep it dry and do dry sanding if you're not worried about airborne dust. So just spray the face of the pad and then also the surface. When I'm sanding with a polisher, I like to be between the second and the third speed setting. And I will sand until I see this white, milky substance on the surface, and that's clear coat. And if it starts to dry up a little bit, I'll just stop, get some more moisture on there, and continue to work on the area that I'm trying to improve. And once I start seeing a lot of this milky substance, which is the clear coat, being worked up away from the surface and being shaved, I'll stop, rinse, wipe it down, take a look at the area and see if I want to go any further, or just continue on and leave it as it is and polish out from there. So that covers your larger flat areas. So your wet sanding will go easy enough just having a disc, the Rupes disc pads, attached to the backing plate. If you want to move over and go into places with more contours, curves, shapes, peaks, valleys, you can simply add the interface to your step. These two go together. They go together on the backing plate, just like so. Again, you can have both of these already soaking in water, or you could just spray the surface as I'm doing here. So basically, the interface helps the surface of your polisher here at the backing plate conform to shapes a lot easier than if you just had a sheet attached to a block or the disc itself just attached to the backing plate. Hope that makes sense. Let me demonstrate here. So what's happening, because this area can conform to the shape, you're getting even sanding from edge to edge. Edge to edge, even sanding all the way through. So another way to put it, because there's flexibility here, you're not getting the edge of the paper or the disc digging into the paint, causing uneven wear and sand marks. Some quick tips. You do want to rinse off these pads and clean them off. Occasionally, because the clear coat you're pulling up from the surface is getting clogged up into these pads. Even though it does have a coating on there to help cut down on clogging, it can still happen, and when the pads clog, your pads are a lot less effective, that will slow down your work. So clean the pads. You know, just like your polishing pads, how I often tell you to clean them, you need to clean your discs and your sheets as you're sanding as well. Some dedicated sanding machines will have an automatic feed of moisture and water that comes to the edge of the polisher and squirts in here and keeps flushing this area. But most polishers are not going to have that. I can't think of any polisher that has that. So if you have it attached to a polishing machine, you're going to have to do the cleaning yourself. And it's as simple as that. And it's ready to go again. Okay, so let me clean off the residue here. Then I'll bring you in, show you what it looks like at this stage. And it would be very easy to polish off. In fact, you know what? I'll show you then. As soon as I bring you in, I'll put you back up there. And I will show you how easy it is to polish 2000 grit sand marks. It will not take long. And it will not take a lot of effort or aggression. Let me let that dry a bit, and then I'll bring you in to show you what it looks like. So this is refinement. So this is refining paint. It will not help with scratches through the clear coat into the color coat, or that's all the way down to the bare metal. Areas like this, or chips, but it will help refine oxidation, deep swirling from car washes, scratches that are shallow, and you can still see a reflection. If you used 80 grit or 120 grit or 400 grit, you wouldn't even see a reflection. It would be completely dull. 3000 grit, 2500 grit, 2000 grit, not aggressive at all, and let me show you how easy that is to polish out. Now, instead of the sand disc, we attach a polishing pad. Bring in some 3D1. We don't need a crazy aggressive compound or even a polish pad. They make microfiber cut, polish, and finish pads. So you could use foam, microfiber, whatever you would like to. Now back up to in between the third and the fourth speed setting. Take a look at this section, my friends. Got that gorgeous metallic. You can see every color in the metal flake, only the scratches through the clear coat are left behind. You can see what it looked like before. Nothing matches. There's no pad, polish, and polisher that can match the finish that wet sanding or even dry sanding can give you, and then just a quick polish out from there to do a little bit of refinement. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. For those that just are still a little bit hesitant to learn to wet sand or dry sand, just look at the setup I have here. These are junk panels that body shops are more than happy to get rid of, and they'd be happy to see you come take some off their hands and just grab some horses from Home Depot or Lowe's, set it up like this, and do some practicing before you touch your own vehicle or maybe a customer's vehicle, just to get comfortable with it. But these two, I believe, will help you feel more comfortable picking up the new skill, adding it to your arsenal and putting a smile on either your customer's face or your face when you see the finish of that vehicle. If you have any questions, down in the comments section. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. I'll catch you in the next video.